Nelson here. With the upcoming Labor Day weekend, I wanted to give you some travel tips to avoid back pain, because nothing is worse than getting in your car with a plan to go somewhere fun and then getting there and not being able to stand up straight. And so we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to avoid back pain while you're traveling, and then talk about some other tips from an exercise standpoint that you can link at the bottom of this video later on. And so the first thing, and if you've listened to anything on the radio lately, talking about having a tail that you can wag when you sit. And so I'm going to show you this example because it's kind of easy, because usually when we say, hey, sit up straight, we kind of perk our shoulders back, but we don't really think about what our hips are doing. And if you don't change the posture of your hips, it becomes very tiring to sit up straight. And for an example, if I sit down on my chair here, and I say just sit up straight, but I just bring my chest up, my back's going to get tired quick. But if I roll my hips under me, I can stand or sit up a lot straighter, much easier for a lot longer time. If you imagine you have a tail, if you roll your hips under you, you're going to sit on your tail and you can't wag it. But if you roll your hips under or behind, you then can get that tail out and wag it, so to speak. When you do that, it's much easier to sit up straight. So if you're in a car or an airplane, you can take a lot of pressure off both your lower back and your upper back by just getting your hips in the right position. The second thing is the hip hinge. And I know we talked about this in a previous video, and I'm going to link that below so Jason can describe it again. But if you're going to pick up bags or load the car or suitcases, lift right. And it's not just bending your knees, it's actually using your core and your hips to brace yourself. So if you're going to load a big suitcase or the cooler or whatever, make sure you are nice big belly breath in. We are kicking our hips back, and when we go to the floor, we can then lift with our butt, keeping our back straight the entire time. You don't want to lift with your back. It's not nearly as strong as your legs and your hip, and a small setup and a small preparation will save you often a big injury. And the last thing is, don't carry a huge bag with one strap. So if you've got, ladies, if you're carrying a big purse around and it's full of stuff and it's heavy, that pressure across your shoulder is likely over time going to cause you to start having some upper back and neck pain. For guys or girls, it doesn't matter. If you're sitting on a big wallet and it's on one side, your hip's going to be hiked the whole time, and it's also going to turn into a consistent pressure that often leads to symptoms. These are simple fixes, but you can avoid the symptoms that come with the pain, but just start taking little steps and you'll often feel a lot better. And often the last thing I'll say to people is, don't ignore it. If you've gone on a trip and you know that sitting for that long is causing you problems, get ahead of it. Take steps before you go. Start working on the stretches. Load the car ahead of time. Take it in little chunks so you're not getting beat up trying to get ready to go at the last minute. So if you have any questions, ask below in the comments. I'll link some videos and some exercises in there too, so you can check it out from other sources, and hopefully you have a great, safe weekend, and this upcoming Labor Day weekend, travel safely and pain-free.